Okay. So, for this video, ang topic natin will be intangible assets. Okay. So, just to make this easier, the concept of intangible assets is almost the same as your property, plant, and equipment. Okay? So ang pag-uusapan natin sa intangible assets, kung ano yung initial recognition, it is also a non-current asset. Meron din tayong ire-record dito na utilization. Kung sa property, plant, and equipment, depreciation ang tawag, sa intangible asset, amortization. But the process is just the same. Okay, iniba lang yung pangalan. The carrying value of your intangible assets is initially measured at cost less accumulated amortization less impairment cost. So, very similar lang siya sa property, plant, and equipment. Kung na-master ninyo yung property, plant, and equipment, for intangible assets, mamaniin nyo lang ito. Okay? So, let's proceed. So, what are intangible assets? When we are talking about intangible assets, these are identifiable non-monetary assets without physical substance. Okay? So these are identifiable non-monetary asset without physical substance. When we say identifiable, it doesn't mean na dapat meron siyang physical existence. When we're talking about identifiability, the asset can be considered as identifiable if it is separable from other assets. It can be sold, transferred, licensed, rented, or exchanged. Or it can also arise from any legal or contractual obligations. Pag may future economic benefits naman, this goes back to the definition of your asset. 'Di ba? Para masabi mo na ang isang asset ay asset, it should bring you future economic benefit. At meron pa tayong pangatlong criteria para sa intangible assets. Okay. Ito, yung control. When we are talking about control, the entity must have the power to obtain the benefits from the asset and restrict another from using it. So, di ba pag sinabi mong asset mo, ibig sabihin sa'yo yan. You own that. You can control it. You can use it para makapagbigay sa'yo ng future economic benefits. Excuse me. Categories of intangible assets. So we have market-related intangible assets, customer-related intangible assets, at saka technology-related um, intangible assets. We also have artistic-related, contract-related, and your goodwill. So isa-isahin lang muna natin to. When you are looking at marketing-related intangible assets, ginagamit po ito for marketing, promotions, and branding products. So kasama dito yung trademarks, trade name. Like for example, classic example natin, yung mukha ni Jollibee. Yung mukha po ni Jollibee is considered na po yun as trademark. So anyone na gagamit po ng logo, hindi nila pwedeng gamitin yun because they will be subjected to violation of intellectual property. Okay? Kasama rin po dito yung mga internet domain names, non-compete agreements at saka newspapers. For customer-related intangible assets, this arise from the relationship sa customers natin. For example, yung mga customer list ninyo. Okay? Those are considered customer-related intangible assets. Technology-related. Technology-related is nakaimbento. Okay? So example, patents or trade secrets. Pag sinabi nating patent, for example, gumawa ka ng, nakaimbento ka ng drugs or gamot, okay? You will be awarded a patent for that one. Okay. So you can utilize that patent for I think 50 years yata. And then eventually kapag nag-expire ng 50 years, doon magkakaroon ng generic name. Okay, for 50 years ikaw lang yung pwedeng mag-supply ng gamot na yon para mabawi mo yung research and development cost na nagastos mo doon sa product. Okay? Patents yon. Ano pa? Example, yung mga inventions. Okay? Pinapapatent po natin yung mga yan para hindi gagayahin ng iba. Okay. Those artistic related. Artistic related, ibig sabihin related sa creative rights. Okay, so ito yung nakikita ninyo sa mga libro, copyrights, 'di ba? Pati yung sa mga music, copyrights po ang tawag doon. We also have contract-related intangible assets such as your franchise. Ang franchise is, kunwari, kayo po ay bibili ng franchise kay Jollibee. Ibig sabihin, on your perspective, kayo na bumili ng franchise, asset nyo yun. But can you hold it? Hindi. But it is with a contract. So, contract-related. You have the capacity to operate as Jollibee in a particular branch or a particular location. Kaya, asset nyo po yun. And then goodwill. I think na-discuss nyo na ninyo ang goodwill during your first year sa partnership. But to give you context kung ano nga ba yung goodwill, it provides a good name sa isang company. Like for example, di ba? Ang financial statements ng company is based on book value. Okay? For example, si Jollibee, marami ang assets na noong unang panahon pa yan nabili. Pag bibilin mo ngayon si Jollibee, yung book value ba niya, yun ba yung magiging presyo ni Jollibee? Hindi. Kasi maganda na yung pinakita ni Jollibee na goodwill eh. Maganda na yung reputation niya. So, mag-a-add ka ng premium doon sa kanyang purchase price versus doon sa kanyang fair market value. Okay? That's the difference of that is attributable to your goodwill. You will understand this better kapag nasa third year na kayo accounting for business combinations. Okay? That's the goodwill. Recognition of intangible assets. Kailan ba natin nire-recognize ang intangible assets? Okay. So, para po mas maintindihan ninyo to ng mabuti, there are several means on how do we acquire intangible assets. Number one, separate acquisition. Okay, for example, patent ng kabilang company, binili mo. Sa'yo na yon. Okay? That's a separate acquisition. As part of business combination, example, goodwill. Okay? Ikaw yung bumili sa bagong company, nag-recognize ka ng goodwill. By way of government grant, by way of exchange of asset, and lastly, yung internally generated. When we say internally generated, dito mas madalas yung challenge eh. Pag internally generated kasi, may criteria yan before ka makapag-recognize ng goodwill. Ang internally generated, by the way, is ikaw mismo yung gumawa. Okay? So, pagka internally generated kasi yung asset, kailangan mapatunayan mo na meron ng future economic benefit na makukuha mo dun sa asset. Because meron tayong tinatawag na research and development phase. Pag research and development phase, ibig sabihin wala pang assurance na magkakaroon ka ng future economic benefits. So, yung gastos during your research and development costs are considered as expense. Okay? Ini-expense po yun outright as you incur. Unlike kapag meron ng future economic benefits, considered na yan as asset. Pag considered yan as asset, i-amortize mo yan or kung mas better na gamitin yung parang dinidepreciate mo yan, 'di ba? Okay? So, kapag may amortization throughout its useful life. Pero during your research and development course at hindi pa sure na meron kayong mapapala dyan sa product na yan, expense outright po yan kung kailan na-incur. Okay. So, pag separate acquisition, so ano yung components ng inyong intangible assets kasama ang purchase price at directly attributable costs. Okay? Hindi natin kinakapitalize yung cost ng launching ng new product kasi these are marketing expenses na. Expenses from opening new location at saka general and administrative expenses. So these are expense outright. Hindi po ito isinasama sa inyong intangible assets. Deferred payments. So they are paano kapag yung asset po binili mo pero via installment. It should be recorded at the cash price equivalent. Same with your property, plant and equipment, 'di ba? And any difference with your cash price at saka doon sa inyong total na binayaran will be considered as interest expense that will be amortized all throughout the credit term. Okay? Acquisition as part of a business. So again, kunwari binili natin si Jollibee. Lahat ng assets, liabilities ni Jollibee, i-convert po natin at fair market value. Okay. Kunwari, ang capital ng inyong Jollibee ay 15 billion pesos. That's the fair market value. Pero, ikaw, as to give way or to give back doon sa mga owners ni Jollibee, nagbayad ka ng 20 billion pesos. So, 15 billion yung fair market value, 20 billion yung binayad mo. The difference, the 5 million pesos, will be considered as goodwill. Kasi kailangan mong i-record yan sa books mo, di ba? Paano mo i-record? 15 million lang, 15 billion yung value. Ang binayad mo, 20 billion. Ano yung 5 billion bonus? Hindi. Ang tawag po doon ay goodwill. Okay? So, yung goodwill natin, it will be recognized separately. Okay? I-amortize ba natin yan? Your goodwill must be tested for impairment. Chine-check po yan every end of the year. Tinetest for impairment kung nabawasan na yung goodwill nung company. Alright? Acquisition by way of government grant, meron tayong measurement by fair market value, at meron naman tayong measurement at nominal amount, ibig sabihin magkano yung binigay ng government plus any directly attributable cost na nagastos ng entity. Okay? Exchange of asset. An intangible asset may be acquired in exchange for another non-monetary asset. For it depends kung merong commercial substance. So kapag may commercial substance, ang kukunin po natin is the entity's future cash flows, expect fair market value of your asset given up, and kung meron mang cash paid or cash received, add minus lang natin. Same with your PPE ito, 'di ba? Asset given up. Kapag hindi available yung fair market value ng asset given up, kunin nyo yung fair market value ng asset received plus and minus kung meron tayong pera. Pero kapag without commercial substance, carrying value ng asset given up yung gagamitin natin as basis. Kasi nga, carrying value, ibig sabihin walang difference. Okay? So, carrying value of the asset given up plus or minus sa cash received kung meron man. Alright? Okay. Internally generated intangible assets. So, gaya nga ng nabanggit ko, kapag nasa research phase pa lang, ibig sabihin, pinag-aaralan mo pa lang, they are expense immediately. Okay? Ganun din po yung tinatawag nating development expenses. They are considered as expense outright. Okay. So ngayon, paano mo masasabi na meron ng future economic benefits ang isang intangible asset na ikaw ang gumawa? Usually po, ang technique ko dyan is, kasi 'di ba, para magkaroon ka ng intangible asset, kailangan may recognition. Kunwari, nag-imbento ka. Okay, nag-imbento ka ng gamot, ipapa-register mo yung patent. So, ang technique ko dyan, lahat ng nagastos before registration ng patent, lahat yun ini-expense outright. Hindi yun kasama sa measurement ng intangible asset. Nag-i-start lang ako ng costing ng intangible asset kapag naparegister ko na siya. Kasi pag naparegister mo na yan, ibig sabihin may future economic benefit ka na. Okay? So, asset mo na yan. Alright? Malinaw tayo ha. You use the technique as well in solving your problems. Okay. So, punta naman tayo sa measurement after initial recognition. So ito yung tinatawag nating subsequent measurement. In accounting for intangible asset, you can use the cost model at saka yung fair value model. So same lang po sila ng property, plant, and equipment. So meron tayo ditong ang measurement natin ng carrying value ng intangible asset is your cost minus accumulated amortization. Sa PPE, ito yung tinatawag nating accumulated depreciation less any impairment losses. Okay. So the cost includes your purchase price and the directly attributable cost. Amortization, depende yan sa kung anong gagamitin. So ang methods din po niyan same lang din sa inyong property, plant, and equipment. Pero madalas is straight line method po yung ginagamit. Pag impairment naman, chine-check natin kung magkano ba yung fair market value ng asset, kung bumaba na ba yung mas mababa na ba yung fair market value compared to its carrying value. Ayun, ire-recognize na rin po natin yun for impairment. Okay? So, mas madalas pong ginagamit ang cost model. Ang fair market value model or yung revaluation model natin is the asset is measured at fair value minus subsequent amortization minus impairment losses. Okay? It is only allowed when an active market exists. Okay, so if the problem is silent, ang gagamitin po ninyo is yung cost model. Okay. So, upward revaluation. So, pag sinabi nating upward revaluation, yung carrying value ng inyong asset is mas mababa compared to its fair market value. So, magre-recognize ka ng revaluation surplus. Yung revaluation surplus na yun is pupunta sa inyong other comprehensive income. Pero kapag yung fair market value mas mababa sa inyong cost, carrying value, ang tawag doon downward revaluation or mas kilala natin po ito sa tawag na impairment loss. Nire-record po natin yan sa inyong P&L. So, pag previously, impairment losses po yung nai-incur ninyo and then nagkaroon kayo ng revaluation surplus, before mo i-record yung revaluation surplus sa OCI, i-offset mo muna siya sa impairment losses. So, very familiar, di ba? Because the same concept is being applied sa inyong property, plant, and equipment. Okay. So, punta tayo sa illustrative problems. Hindi. Tapusin ko lang muna yung concepts tapos punta tayo sa illustrative problems. Hindi. Sige na nga. Illustrative problems 1 to 3. Okay. I-share ko lang ulit. Ayan. So, tignan natin si illustrative problem number 1 and 3. Okay. So, sa illustrative problem number 1, ang title po nito ay Research and Development Expenses. Okay. So, meron po tayo ditong nakalistang mga expenditures. Okay, so tignan natin ha. So, ang tinatanong, how much is to be recognized as research and development expense? So, tatandaan ninyo, ang teknik ko dito, lahat ng nagastos prior the registration, lahat po yun are considered as um, research and development expenses. Okay. So, activities at obtaining new knowledge that is considered as research and development expense. Marketing research to study consumer taste. This one is a marketing expenses. So, hindi siya research and development expense. It is still an expense, pero marketing na po. Okay? So, hindi po yan kasama sa ating research and development. Developing and producing a prototype model, kasama po ito. Testing the prototype for safety environment, kasama din to sa research and development. Revising design for flaws in the prototype, kasama rin po ito. Salaries of employees and consultants in the R&D, kasama po yan. Conference for product introduction, including endorser fee. These are also considered as marketing expenses. Same with your number 2. Wala silang kinalaman sa product, but kung titignan ninyo, yung expense is directed at promotion. Okay? So, hindi siya research and development. Promotion yung expense natin. Alright? So, excluded po yan. Lastly, advertising to establish the recognition of a new product that is also part of your marketing expenses or promotion. Hindi po yan research and development. Okay? So, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as research and development expense. Now, we proceed to illustrative problem number 2. Okay, so si Clyde Company, meron daw po siyang nagastos na the following expenses. So, alin daw po dito ang i-recognize natin as research and development? Search for alternative materials, kasama yan. Final selection of possible alternative for new process, kasama rin po yan kasi may kinalaman yan mismo dun sa product eh. Troubleshooting during commercial production, this is not included kasi troubleshooting during commercial production is, saan ba natin ito ilalagay? May commercial production na eh, testing po ito eh. Okay? So, hindi na yun kasama sa research and development expenses. Periodic and routine design changes to existing products. This one is part of your existing products. So, hindi po to research and development. Considered na rin to as intangible kasi may existing products na eh. 'Di ba? Pag research and development, wala pa. Okay? Modification of the design for a specific customer, Sarah, 40,000. Ganun din. Hindi rin po ito kasama sa research and development kasi meron ng product na ibinibigay sa customer. Payments to Sarah for R&D performed by Sarah for Clyde. O, ito kasama kasi nga may research and development phase pa. Cost of R&D performed by Clyde for Alpha Corp. Kasama din. Wait lang. For Alpha Corp. Cost of R&D performed. Ito hindi. Kasi ikaw ay nagbigay ng services kay Alpha Corp. Hindi to related doon sa binubuo mong product. Okay? So, hindi po kasama yung 20,000. Ang kasama lang is yung 10,000, yung 8,000, at saka yung 15,000. Okay? So, for number 3, kayo na lang po yan. It's just the same research and development phase. Now, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Amortization of intangible assets. So, ang amortization po ng intangible assets is systematic allocation. So, meron kang asset, syempre nagagamit mo, you are recognizing yung usage. Okay? It is considered as amortized over its useful life. May useful life din po ang intangible assets. But we have to take note, meron kasing mga intangible assets na with finite useful life or ibig sabihin, specified yung kanilang useful life. Meron din tayong indefinite intangible assets. Yan. Pag indefinite yung intangible assets, walang expiration, hindi po tayo nagre-recognize ng amortization. Okay? However, the asset is only tested for impairment. Chine-check mo lang annually kung bumababa na yung value niya. Okay? Hindi ka nagre-recognize ng usage kapag indefinite yung useful life. Right? Magre-recognize ka lang ng amortization kapag finite yung useful life. Residual value is 0 unless merong sinabing residual value. Right? Okay. Impairment of goodwill and cash generating assets. So, impairment of goodwill. When we say goodwill, ito nga yung magandang reputation ng company. So, computation po ito ng goodwill, yung consideration or yung binayad minus your fair market value ng inyong company is equals to your goodwill. Kapag negative, gain or on bargain purchase ang tawag. Pero kapag positive, goodwill yon. Okay. Okay. So, pakitaan ko kayo ng um, let's proceed to your meron ba tayong computation dito? Yeah. Okay. Same lang din, wala namang binigay na example sa inyong handout, it's just formulas. Okay, but ang important po diyan kasi itong formulas na pinakita sa inyo sa handout is more of sa business combination na po ito. Hindi yan masyadong dinidiscuss dito. Ang tatandaan nyo lang po na formula ay ito po. Okay? Kung may lalabas sa exam ninyo na lagpas dito at saka dito, computation ng goodwill, I will have it as bonus kasi masyadong malalim po yung interpretation ng formulas na nandito, which is dapat dinidiscuss yan sa business combination. Alright? Sa business combination na po kayo maghihirap dyan. Okay. So sa goodwill impairment natin, like your intangible assets with indefinite useful life, ang goodwill po is tested for impairment lang annually. Okay? So, ang sinasabi lang po dito sa previous PowerPoint natin, kapag mas mababa na yung carrying value ng inyong goodwill versus to its, paano kapag mas mababa yung fair market value ng inyong goodwill compared to its carrying value, ipapasok nyo po yan sa impairment loss. Okay? Impairment loss. Cash generating unit. When you say cash generating unit, pinagsama-sama po itong identifiable group ng assets. Alright. So, impairment ng cash generating unit kapag mas mataas yung carrying value compared to its recoverable amount, magre-recognize kayo ng impairment. Okay? Yung recoverable amount natin is your value in use or your fair value less cost to sell. For example, ang fair value less cost to sell mo 1 million pesos at ang carrying amount mo sa books mo for this cash generating unit is 1.2 million. Ibig sabihin, kailangan mo mag-recognize ng impairment loss na 200,000 if considering na hindi na binigay yung value in use ha. So, wala ka ng option. Mas mataas na. Sa books mo, 1.2 million. Pero sa market, 1 million na lang. So, impairment loss na tayo. Okay? Hindi na realistic yung nasa books natin. Allocation of impairment loss. Okay. Yung allocation ng impairment loss, it should be applied to goodwill muna and then saka natin siya i-apply sa non-cash assets natin. Cash generating unit, hindi masyadong binibigay po ito as part of your exam. Focus lang kayo doon sa mga intangible assets. Okay. So, punta tayo sa impairment reversal and the recognition of intangible assets. So, pag sinabi nating impairment reversal, ibig sabihin, nag-recognize ka ng loss. Tapos ngayon, magre-recognize ka ng gain. So, yun yung tinatawag nating impairment reversal. Dati, loss ka. Ngayon, bumalik ka, nag-back up yung intangible asset mo, tumaas yung presyo. So, i-reverse mo yung impairment. Ano naman yung derecognition na sinasabi natin? So, pag derecognition na sinasabi po natin, totally tatanggalin na po natin sa books yung inyong, tatanggalin na po natin sa books yung inyong um, intangible assets. It's either ibibenta or i-dispose. Okay, tatanggalin sa books. Okay. So reversal of impairment. So an impairment loss is reversed only when there is a change in estimate. Okay? Magkakaroon lang tayo ng reversal kapag nagkaroon ng change in estimate. Okay. So, what are the conditions indicating the reversal? Tumaas yung values ng market value. Nag-improve yung asset. Merong better economic or legal environment. Lower yung market interest rate. Improve yung ang internal performance ng asset ninyo. So, how are we going to measure or recognize yung reversal of impairment? Okay? The reversal of impairment shall be recognized immediately in the profit and loss. Right? Okay. How about the recognition? So, nagkakaroon tayo ng recognition gaya nga ng nabanggit ko, dinispose mo yung asset through sale, exchange, or transfer at hindi na siya nagpo-provide ng future economic benefits. Hindi na siya nagko-qualify as asset. Right. So, paano natin i-recognize ang asset? So, number one, pwedeng mag-recognize ka ng gain through profit and loss. But technically, the journal entry for the recognition of intangible assets is i-debit mo yung accumulated amortization, ke-credit mo yung intangible asset. Kung may difference pa, gain or loss na lang yon. Ulitin ko ha, the journal entry for the recognition of your intangible asset, i-debit mo yung accumulated amortization, iki-credit mo yung intangible asset and debit ka lang ng losses or credit ka ng gains for the gains and losses. Okay. So, let's discuss yung illustrative problem number 4. Okay. This is illustrative problem number 4. So, ang gagaya nga ng nabanggit ko sa inyo, focus nyo lang, computation lang ng goodwill. So, kung titignan ninyo, si Brewer Company is nag-acquire daw siya po ng isang company. Okay? So, ito yung fair market value nung assets and liabilities nung company. So, um, kunin niyo po lang po yung capital or yung equity. So, total assets less total liabilities. Pero focus kayo ha, fair market value ang kukunin. Ignore ninyo yung carrying amount. You will only use carrying amount if the fair market value is not available. So, kaya kung nakikita ninyo dyan, fair market value po yung ginamit doon sa assets and liabilities. So, ang net assets nung company is 13.5 million. Yan yung presyo nung company. Magkano in-acquire ni Brewer? 12,000. Okay? Binili niya ng mas mura. So, since binili niya ng mas mura, meron ba tayong goodwill dito? The answer is wala. Okay? Kung mas mataas yung presyo, yung fair value ng company versus sa purchase price, ang tawag po doon, gain on bargain purchase. Sino yung nag-gain? Yung bumili. Si Brewer in this case. Okay? So, dito naman sa number 5. Okay. So, kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong net assets ng entity 6 million. Okay? And at the time of the acquisition, meron siyang 2 million. Fair values of the acquiree's assets were 3 million and for the current assets and 6 million for the non-current assets. Okay. So, kunin muna natin yung fair market value. Ang fair market value ng assets mo is 9 million. 3 million plus 6 million minus 2 million na fair market value nung inyong liabilities, that is 7 million. Yan yung value po nung entity. Pero magkano ba niya binili? 6 million. Oh, net assets. Binili niya ng 6 million. So in this case, meron pa rin tayong gain on bargain purchase na 1 million pesos. Ayan po, nasa journal entry. Hindi kayo binigyan ng example, eh, s ng goodwill, pero for this case, wala pa pong goodwill. Hmm, hanapin ko lang yung mas magandang example, ha. Okey, walang binigay na example sa inyo, eh. Mm, impairment losses na 'to. Okey. So, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. So, last part na po ng discussion natin is your required disclosure. So, ano ba yung mga required na disclosure for your intangible assets? So, kailangan po isabihin kung merong useful life kasi it will determine kung finite or indefinite ba yung useful life ng asset. Ano yung amortization method na ginamit? Sum of the years ba? Um, Straight line method, double declining, okay? The gross carrying amount and the accumulated amortization at the beginning or at the end of the period, and the income statement line items where amortization is included. So take note po ha, yung amortization natin is an expense. Ang contra asset po ng intangible asset is your amortization. Accumulated amortization. So same concept lang sila ng PPE and pinalitan lang yung depreciation ng word na amortization, okay? So I think that's the end of your handout. The rest ay reconciliation na lang ng carrying amount, pero sa movements na lang po kasi 'to, eh, okey? So yun lang for intangible assets.